the Lord talks about how He doesn't show us the 1,000-mile journey, but what He does is that He shows us the 5 feet, 10 feet ahead of us. And so just by following Him in that way,
Yeah.
lo and behold, I'm several thousands of miles away from where I started out.
Well, hello everyone. We're back for another episode of Up Next, and today I'm getting a chance to get to talk to a dear friend and also Resource Global board member, May Lum. How are you, May?
I'm well, excited to be on your program, Tommy.
Now, May, have we had you on before, or is this your first time?
My first time.
Oh my gosh. Okay, we're gonna have to have you come on multiple times because I want to get to a point where we have regular guests coming on just to share their thoughts and insights on a lot of things.
Yeah, we'd love to.
Yeah. Well, May is a senior counsel of a global company. And so we're going to overseeing AI. And so today we're going to talk a little bit about Journey, but we're also going to talk about AI as well, too. And so May originally home was in Singapore. Talk to me a little bit about life in Singapore and how you got to here in Chicago now.
Yeah, life in Singapore was pretty straightforward. It was really work and church and family, of course. I had the opportunity to come to the US to be based at the headquarters of my company, and as my mother had gone home to the Lord by that time, and I had tremendous support from my family and my fiance at that point as well to come to the US, and we felt that it was really the leading of the Lord. So I came and to the US in 2018. It's been a very interesting journey spiritually and professionally. There's been a lot of growth opportunities on all fronts. Made
Yeah.
tremendous friends. I've learned so much about this great country, but I'm
Yeah.
also very conscious of the call of God. For me, it's not just about me. It's never about me. It's about Him, doing
Yeah.
it His way, and seeing how I can contribute to the well-being and the welfare of this country and the communities.
Yeah, yeah. Now, May, I mean, when you were younger, and whether it's in college or in high school, was there any thought of ever coming to US to work, or did you think that you were just going to stay in Singapore and live there forever?
I never imagined that I'll have the opportunity to come to live and work in the United States. Never in my mind. When I came to the Lord, I wanted to be a missionary, but my visions of the field where I could contribute was in areas that were far away from the United States.
Got it. And then for your faith journey, when did you come to know, accept Christ?
I started searching for the Lord just before I was due for graduation, and knowing that I'll be stepping out into the big, wide, scary world, that I really needed, a force that is greater than me to help me navigate the challenges of life. And that was when I began to seek God. And the Lord has His amazing ways of leading me to Him. There were a lot of hang-ups that I grew up with because of my personal background and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
But after I came to the Lord, at the cusp of the start of my professional career, I wanted to be a missionary. Um,
Yeah.
and 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 I tried knocking on several doors, but nothing panned out, and I realized that probably a no from the Lord was probably guidance from Him that I should
Hmm.
remain in the legal profession, and that my place, my mission field was the marketplace.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like as a lawyer, did you go to undergrad thinking that you want to be a lawyer? Growing up, did you want to be a lawyer? Is that the path that you really wanted to really pursue?
No, no, lawyering was never in my mind. I'm the first lawyer in my family, and what I really wanted going to school into when I was in high school was to do something that was a little less specific, such as politics and economics. I was really
Yeah.
very curious about how the world works and what runs the world. I was very intrigued by societies and countries and how they interact with one another. So geopolitics and of course economics, money, how money runs and oils the wheels of geopolitics. So that was my thing. But again, through circumstances and all, I ended up doing both, studying, majoring in law and economics. and now I'm doing artificial intelligence,
Yeah.
technology and privacy, and it's again something that I never imagined myself doing, but the Lord has his incredible ways of just bringing everything together.
Yeah, yeah. May, if someone is sitting here listening to our conversation right now and they said to you, May, how did you know? You literally went from, okay, I thought I was going to do this. Then I pivoted over to law. I didn't think I was going to leave Singapore. Then I came here to the US. How do you know? I thought I was going to go into global missions. That didn't pan out. How do you know when one door is open, one door closes, and what path to choose? What advice would you say to people?
I would say that at every stage to be really close to the Lord and to seek Him. I'm just thinking of Proverbs 3, 5 to 6, to just trust in the Lord with all our heart, and lean not on our own understanding, and to just commit our ways to Him. The Lord talks about how He doesn't show us the 1,000-mile journey, but what He does is that He shows us the 5 feet, 10 feet ahead of us. And so just by following Him in that way,
Yeah.
lo and behold, I'm several thousands of miles away from where I started out.
Yeah. It reminds me of Joshua chapter 3. And in some sense, after 40 years, God finally says to Joshua, ask everyone to pack up because after 40 years of being in the desert, it is now time to pack up to cross the Jordan River to the promised land. Can you imagine the anxiety all these guys were facing after 40 years? Some of these guys don't even remember Moses, don't even remember being kept in slavery in Egypt and everything like that. All their life, they just know what was going to be in the wilderness. And now they're going to have to pack up everything, cross the Jordan River. How are we going to cross the Jordan River into the promised land? It's not like people are going to hand over the promised land. And he says to them, follow the Ark of the Covenant because you have never been there before. And I love that because a lot of times you don't know what's going to head. You don't know what the danger is, but follow the Ark of the Covenant.
Exactly.
Yeah. And then, May, a lot of times, like for instance, even Singapore and life in the US, how would you describe life in Singapore compared to life in the US? What was the differences and adjustments that you had to make?
Wow, there are so many differences actually. I had assumed that I knew something about the United States, being an avid reader of news and all that was going on in the United States and the rest of the world. Um, but from coming into the coming into this country and having a front row seat to all that's happening, as opposed to just reading about it in Singapore, is a vastly different experience. And I feel like I'm not only just a spectator here in all that's going on in the US, but I'm part of what's going on. And there's just so much that I can contribute as well to influencing
Yeah,
how certain things could go, the direction of how things could go within the spheres of influence that the Lord has placed me in my family, in my community, in my work, and in my church. Um, in Singapore, I used to think that, oh, we're highly multicultural, we're extremely integrated, we're very international, and we are. Singapore is a global
yeah,
financial hub, and it's one of the most coveted destinations for highly educated professionals from all over the world. And we have a thriving community of expatriates with whom I had a lot of interaction. So I thought that, hey, you know what, this is the capsule of the world that I know about. But coming into the US, this is like, Singapore on steroids. This is truly, truly multicultural. The world, all of the rest of the world, nationals from countries whom I never would have had a chance to meet in Singapore, they're here. They're just,
yeah,
10 miles, they live just 10 miles down the road from me. And so it's been tremendously exciting and it's been such a
yeah.
blast.
But yet at the same time, look, when I've been to Singapore 3 times in my life, May, and when I look at Singapore, the movies that we watch, but even just a perception, everything is well run, everything is clean. Perception is everything is perfect. What would you say with that? And what's the other side of Singapore that I may not be seeing?
Right. We're so familiar with, all that's posted on Instagram. So I would say that, it's what is often portrayed about Singapore is almost instant gratified. There is definitely the other side. to the coin as it is with most things. Singaporeans are just very down to earth people. Apart from that highly glamorized picture of this garden city, but Singaporeans are generally very down to earth. We work hard. We have our challenges. Not every other person is crazy rich Asian. Not at all. We suffer the impacts of inflation and whatever that we're experiencing here in the United States, from the crazy grocery prices and other
Yeah, yeah.
and the higher cost of living, the pressures from from all from all directions of life are felt very keenly. I want to say in Singapore as well.
Yeah, yeah. When they call Singapore the Antioch of Asia, what does that mean?
Wow. If you were to ask 10 Singaporeans, you'll probably have 20 opinions. I would say that God has positioned Singapore to be very unique. That we we are called to we are called to be we are called to be the light in
Mhm.
Southeast Asia. We're small, but we are mighty in the Lord.
Yeah,
Because of our unique cultural and racial composition
yeah,
of all the different ethnic groups in this in that are found spread across the region of Singapore, but it's across Southeast Asia, with Singapore as a condensed um, little dot of a country with representations from all these different racial groups. But as that small and mighty nation, we we are called to demonstrate how it is possible to live in love, harmony, and respect for one another, truly regardless of language, race, or religion. So, over and above our Christian faith, but it is possible, and I think Singapore is called to demonstrate how we can all live in the brotherhood of love and
yeah.
respect for one another.
Yeah, yeah. Another thing that amazes me about Singapore is you mentioned that it's a small country. Singapore never should have become what it is. I go to Nairobi and we're just there. They compare Nairobi to Singapore, and they always tell me, with the folks over in Kenya, Singapore is what Nairobi wishes that it had become. What do people mean by that? What did Singapore do to become the powerhouse that it is today?
It's the Lord. It's God's blessing and hand has definitely been upon Singapore. So I want to give God the glory and the acknowledgement. But it's also the people,
Yeah,
again leveraging on our the different races of Indians, Malays, and Chinese and Eurasians, and of course, people from all over the globe coming together and having one goal to really make the best of life. And again, respecting one another's differences, celebrating one another's differences as well, and seeing how our unique strengths coming together, combined, could really make a success of things. So I feel like, what to whom much has been given, more is expected, and Singaporeans have I now have a responsibility to show that the Nairobis of the world and other cities, um, who want some help or support to share, to help Nairobi or other cities, for instance, to create their own unique recipe of success. Not to say that Singapore's way is the only way, but there's definitely a little something that we've learned from our own experiences that we'll love to be able to share with other cities across the world and help them find their own secret
yeah.
recipe for success.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Switching gears a little bit to talk about your work in AI. You work at a global company in which you oversee the legal aspects of AI. When did AI become a thing? When did companies, in your opinion, start paying attention to AI?
Yeah, I would dial I'll dial back your description a little and say that I don't oversee AI, although I have the honor and privilege to be working with extremely talented attorneys and business folks and developers to build very interesting technology. Um, it's been a real journey, and there's just so much more to go. But Tommy, if you don't mind, could you just help me recall what you like to know
Yeah,
more about this?
May, when did companies start paying attention to AI and says,
All
"Oh,
right.
this is a real thing. This is something we should be paying attention to. Let's talk. Let's have
Yes.
meetings about this. Let's put some money into it." Was it after COVID? Was it before COVID that started talking? When did some of this start happening?
Yeah, I think AI grabbed the world's attention after the launch of ChatGPT in November 2022.
Yeah.
But even prior to that, there's been no lack of effort to build AI, artificial intelligence, which is intelligence that emulates human intelligence, since the 1950s. But it's only with the launch of ChatGPT and generative AI that the potential for AI really grabbed the imagination of companies and businesses.
Yeah. How are companies just beginning to integrate AI into their company? Or you say, man, they're all full on board and now they're hiring staff, they're designing companies around AI. Where are companies around, even with the company that you're exposed to? Where are they at?
Right. I would describe the journey to be, over maybe, 3 to 5 stages. I think where most companies are definitely on stage one now, where there is a general consensus that this stuff is real. This is not like the metaverse or even cryptocurrency. It's not a fad. This is real. So I think most companies have come to that, are at that stage of reckoning. Stage two is where now companies start exploring how they could leverage the potential of Gen AI for their specific business purposes. I would say that most companies are in stage two. Stage three
Yeah.
is where there's actual deployment into their businesses. And stage four and five is when this becomes truly incorporated into the business, where AI is now not just a thing, a tool, but is a true co-pilot, someone who is your very able assistant who consults into you and helps you with your decisioning. And probably at some point in future, AI will be used to make decisions. So I would say
Yeah.
that most companies are probably at stage two, and maybe in 1 to 3 years' time, many companies will be in stage three.
Got it. Got it. All right. So May, I'm going to ask you to put your board hat on, and you are on the board of a resource organization like Resource Global that is working in the ministry space and all of that stuff. Is what stage should we be on? Should us and all ministries actively be talking about how to integrate AI into our? Should we form committees to work on those things? Should this be part of your active strategic plan? What would you say as a board member, as a volunteer?
As a resounding yes. It's a resounding yes. The reason is this: AI is not just another tool. This is going to be something that is causing a paradigm shift in how we do our work. So we will still be doing ministry. The core things of what we do as a ministry, which is really to advance the kingdom of God, raising funds, creating donor awareness, and ensuring that our services are going to our targeted audience, are still there. But the way we are going to go about doing this will be radically transformed by the potential and power of AI. So we should absolutely think about
Yeah.
talking about that.
And may help me to dream, may help me to understand. When I think of AI, it's ChatGPT. Google probably has their own AI platform as well too, and you'll probably get. But mostly, I just think of ChatGPT. You think of transcribing. You think of editing. You think of notes. What else can AI do to help a ministry or a small organization?
Wow, I'm just thinking of an early experiment that was conducted by a professor at a Wharton Business School, and he basically tasked his MBA students to launch a campaign in a matter of weeks. And this is something that would traditionally take many months and a large team of professionals. But with AI, all you need is just a core team of maybe 5 to 7 individuals. Potentially, this is what we can do using these Gen AI tools. Now, I think the key thing really is to get people to be really savvy, confident users of these tools to to really push administrative tasks to these tools and to use these tools in a very, very efficient manner, just so that we can get our people to start thinking, to focus more on the strategic, creative if work, and also to work on relation tasks, relationship, donor building, and relating to the audience that we are trying to reach with our services.
Yeah, yeah. So in some sense, what I'm hearing from you is not only just the content, but even aspects of the ministry like fundraising, communications, all of that stuff. So in some sense, actually putting teams together to look at the entire organization, how it could be embedded in all aspects of the organization.
Yeah, absolutely. Using the tool, for instance, to be writing grants, for to be writing grants, writing newsletters to your donors, for instance, using these tools to create an analysis to create an analysis of how you could be more strategic in your donor development program is all really important. And there are already platforms out there, such as I won't name companies, but they are coming up with the next generation of AI tools,
Yeah.
called AI agents, agentic systems, and these companies are also very keen to partner with non-profit organizations. And I feel that as part of their agenda to want to be good corporate citizens as well, that there are opportunities for non-profits to partner with these big tech companies to at least work with them for experimentation to develop their tools.
Yeah, yeah. May, would you say a lot of times, from your experience, do people go to school to learn all of this stuff? Is there programs, or is this just beginning where you're just kind of just figuring it out and there's no like education to learn any of this stuff yet?
Yeah, I would say that right now the goal of these technologies is really to put tools into the hands of people which can be immediately used, and for people to use without with no knowledge of coding or technical experience. So that is the end goal, and frankly the end goal is not that far out. There are already many available tools, free as well as consumer versions, that cost maybe $20 to $50 a month, but they more than pay for themselves in the sort of productivity that is gained.
Oh yeah. I mean, even May, a lot of times, even ChatGPT, it has helped me out with sermon prep, research, editing, all of those things. And I love it. It's allowed me to create content for conferences, wording, all of that stuff. I love every aspect of it. I've gotten to a point where I'll take videos of content, I'll transcribe it and then run it through AI. And you've now created Bible studies, blogs, interviews, all of that all the time.
Yeah, exactly. But it would be really important as well to be conscious of the some of the lookouts associated with using these tools, just to make sure that we're using it in a way that is responsible and respectful of the privacy, security, confidentiality of our information, trade
Yeah.
secrets, and whatnot. You've probably heard a lot of there's been a lot out there around the risk of deepfakes. So that's something to be aware
Mm.
about as well. So while these tools are great for creating content, and not just text content, but visual and audio content as well, but the risk of deepfake is not to be underestimated. So, and of course, we know that cyber criminals are actively using these tools as well to make their phishing and impersonation a lot more convincing.
Oh my
And we,
gosh, yes.
yeah, so for those of us who have a lot of clips and audios out there, we just need to be mindful that, that it's basically potential, for these criminals to create, deepfake versions of ourselves to defraud our loved ones, or the organizations that we're associated with. So that's something to think about, which is
Yeah.
why I think that having an almost like an AI consultant, for it's not only for corporates, for corporate companies, but for nonprofits as well, to have an AI consultant of sorts to help you think about the potential as well as the risk, and how best to leverage the tool, given your specific mission, your resources, and what your goals are, will be very helpful.
Got it. Got it. Got it. Got it. May, thank you very much. And I love talking with you. We're going to have you back again just to give us more of an update on what AI is up to, all of those things, especially for some of these ministries that may not have those resources. They may not be seen or exposed to all these things, but just coming on with you and just helping to really be able to see how those tools could be used would be great.
Yeah, I would love to.
All right. Thank you so much, May.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Talk soon.